everyone, my name is ShaineRiley. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be reading thrillers. I just got done filming my fall romances, which is very sweet and cute, but because I haven't read a thriller in a very long time, I'm just like itching. Two of them are from my TBR video. So we have She Left and Such Pretty Flowers. A book that wasn't on my September TBR is called A Flicker in the Dark. It's about a story of these 6 girls that go missing. The main character, she's younger when this happens, and her dad basically gets convicted of these 6 missing girls. Then it like jumps forward 20 years later. She becomes a psychologist, she's about to get married, and she's worked really hard to become happy. Or try to fight to find happiness from such a traumatic childhood, and then she's going to be getting married soon. Eventually, more girls start to go missing now that she's older, and so now that she's a psychologist, she can look back at all these cases. I'm guessing she's going to do some research and try to figure out if her dad's still put away. Was her dad like wrongfully convicted, I'm guessing, because the killer's still out there. This is definitely intriguing. So this is the first book. I think this is gonna be kind of like a Credence situation, which I haven't read Credence, but reading the synopsis, it just seems really twisted and dark. This girl's brother basically commits like suicide, but it turns out that the sister thinks that he was killed by his girlfriend, and from the back it just seems like she's a really twisted character. But as I believe her name is Molly or Holly. Molly. Are people's real names Molly? Molly. Yeah, I think so. This girl Holly is trying to investigate a little bit more about his girlfriend, and it's basically kind of saying that she's just like diving deeper into like her mind, and like just, you know, it says like she's either gonna fall for her or like find out what her brother, like what happens to her brother. She's gonna find out what happens to her brother or meet the same fate. So I'm guessing if she dives too deep into this mysterious girl of like what the heck happened, the same thing might happen to her. The cover's super pretty, but you know, it might be very spooky, or at least just like, not even if it's like scary, if it's just like a mystery type of deal, if it's just like twisted, eerie, like what's going on, that still gives me the creeps, because I don't like, well, I do like, not like, but like obviously spooky stuff like during this time of year, it's definitely intriguing, so that's what I want to read, but like still hearing about it like grosses you out. So this is the second option. So basically this girl is at a party and she's around these like friends, which they don't really make her feel like she's a part of the friend group, but when she leaves the party, the 5 friends that were there, they all die. Now, a few years later, she's still dealing with like the guilt, and from the press, there are probably so many questions. How is she the only person that survived such a crazy thing that has happened to people? And eventually, 20 years later, she and 10 other people that were connected to these crimes somehow get invited to like this house on this kind of like remote island by this journalist. I don't know if these people go into it knowing that they were connected to these crimes, or they're all just kind of like, oh, let's go, like we're invited to this thing. There's a storm that is coming in, and then a bunch of people start dying, and the main character kind of figures out that there's a person there that is connected to these crimes and wants to keep the crimes a secret, so he's then, or he or she, I don't know, is killing more people. So that just sounds so interesting, especially right now, because it's like, not that the other ones aren't interesting, but I think it's because it's gonna be like a who did it, like in the moment, like as one person is dying like on this island, it's like, okay, these are the people that are left, but like who's doing this? So I'm most intrigued to read this. This is gonna be the first book to like kick off this video. It's Thursday when I'm filming this. I don't think I'm gonna get done with this tonight. I might, depending on how like fast it goes, or if it's like really entertaining from the start, I might just like continue to read it. But I do want to read all the way through the weekend, So we have 3 books to get to. I'm very excited. Honestly, depending on how this makes me feel, I might just go straight into this one because this one is also kind of like a who did it, like there's a killer on the loose, you know, more people are going missing. And this one just seems like kind of like twisted. I hope it's not a dark romance. It honestly kind of seems like it is, but I don't really want to read that for this video. I'm not in the mood. I just want to read like spooky thriller stuff. But we're gonna find out. I've reached like a halfway point. The main character, Amy, she's an FBI agent, which on the back, on the blurb, it did not say that. I don't think it did. No, it definitely didn't. As she got older, she wanted to become an FBI agent, which is super cool, but there's still some things that she's mentioned that she hasn't said yet to like the people that are there, because they're all trying to figure out like their stories and like connect things, because so far one person has died since they've gotten to the house, like since they were invited by this journalist to uncover the story a little bit more, since it's 20 years, like the anniversary. But it's like we know a good amount, but there's no one in my brain from the 10 people or whoever were invited that I'm like, oh, this is who I think did it. I hope it's not the main character, because I read a book where like the main character, like there was no sort of warnings or clues that this chick was gonna be crazy, and then she ended up, at the end of the book, it was like a major plot twist, and it did not make any sense, and it ruined the whole book for me. I was like, this was so stupid. So I hope it's not that, because it's like you're understanding all these people's perspectives and their stories and all this stuff, than to just find out it's the girl telling the story, but she's not like revealing clues as the story's going. So I hope it's not that. I don't think it is. I'm definitely more on edge than I normally would be, but yeah, I will probably give an update tomorrow once I finish it, because tonight I'll probably be too tired to like film. This morning I finished this book. I fell asleep last night, and then like I woke up at 6 in the morning. My body was just already up at that time, usually the past few days for work, and then I was like, you know what, I can't go back to sleep, so let me just finish the book. I did guess the person that I thought was the killer, but their reasonings weren't what I expected, but like not in a good way. Like half of the reasoning for killing all these people like made sense, and then like the other half of it was kind of just like bland. In my opinion, it kind of was like, what the heck? Like that didn't really make any sense, or like it wasn't a good enough reasoning. To me, it felt a little flat. It was literally the last 50 pages. I kind of was like, I hope this isn't going how I think it's gonna go, because I kind of already knew who it would be. There is a natural disaster happening. They're like in a really bad storm, and the house is on like a side of a cliff, hill, mountain. Natural disaster is happening, and like you're worried about the house falling off of the mountain, and then there's actual killers or a killer on the loose, and you're just like, what is going on? I'd be terrified if I was in that situation. But the book gets right into like the beginning scene of the night that everyone died, and then it jumps right into the main character, Amy, then being invited to this house, and then she's meeting all these people that were connected to the original people. I will say, when things start to go wrong, it truly is insanely creepy and twisted, and it's like, wait a minute, like this is gonna be crazy. But then as the book is progressing and you're kind of just in this house with these like 9-10 other people, you're kind of just like, I don't really know if any of these people I would actually like want to kill these other people unless it's only in survival. So I would say my rating is a 3, which to me is still good, and I would recommend the book, but it wasn't as like scary crazy as I thought it would be towards the ending. So it kind of just fell off, it fell flat, but that's not to say that it's a bad book. I would say if you want to read a whodunit book, definitely pick this up, but to me, the reason why I guessed the person who I'd guessed was actually the killer is just because they kind of were like not standing off to the side, but they were really chill about the situation. And it kind of was like, That's like really odd. Like, obviously people are dying. This one has been a little bit more popular through social media, like for thrillers, but this one, when I'd seen it in Barnes & Noble, I was like, oh my goodness, I have to pick it up. I hadn't seen this one on social media though, but I just really liked the cover. The synopsis was interesting to me. So not a bad first book at all, but this one I think, or I'm hoping it's a little bit more crazy, spooky, like I don't know what's gonna happen. The first book I read was 329 pages. This book is like 350. So it shouldn't take that much longer to get through. And then this last book is like 320. So this one's going to be really, really short and easy to get through. We're going to get right into this one, and I will check back in once I reach like a halfway point. And then we'll see what happens. Hopefully it's a little bit scarier than the first one. The sirens to stop, but they're pretty close wherever they're at. My sister gets out of nail school pretty soon, and I'm still kind of tired, but like I know it's probably just because I woke up like at 6 in the morning. So I took a little bit of a nap. It's like gonna be 4 right now, so I think I'm just gonna take a shower, take a break from the book. It is still so interesting, so I know I'm gonna finish it tonight. Like as soon as I get out of the shower and get situated, I'll probably just continue reading when me and my sister figure out what to eat. This is kind of like, there's a movie that my dad told me to watch. Forgot what it's, oh, Silence of the Lambs, is that what it is? And I didn't end up watching it. I need to. It's basically this girl who is talking to this man who's like a serial killer, just to understand and get more into his brain, because there's a certain case going on that she needs to solve, and it's related to him, or the killer that's on the loose is like taking after that killer that she's interviewing. So she's talking to him and she's learning so much, but like the movie's like twisted because it's like you can see him talking like the first serial killer. Anyways, it's kind of crazy. I don't know the whole plot of the movie, but I think that's what that movie is about. But this is just so interesting to me because you're obviously in the mind of a child who thought that their dad was totally normal and ran to him for safety, because when she was younger, like they started to put curfews out. They said you can't be out like past 7 or 8 p.m. when the sun goes down. Her dad was the one telling her these things because there was a killer on the loose. And then legitimately 3 months later, when the police went to come pick him up at their house, and like they like broke down the door and were like taking him away, like he was super normal, like not even trying to fight it. And that's so traumatic because you find out that the person that you thought was protecting you or trying to help protect you from a crazy serial killer turns out to be the serial killer. I think this book is going to do a really good job of like unraveling the past and how it ties into the present when girls start to go missing. One girl started to go missing, and our character went out to try to help the search party look for this girl, and they found her earring, which obviously shows that the girl's out there, but like they didn't even find the 6 victims from her dad. Like they're still buried somewhere, which is so creepy. And it's really sad for the families because they didn't get closure knowing that they're in a safe spot and that they could be put to rest. They're just out there and they were never discovered. It sounds really crazy, but I think I already know who the other person is, even though it's off the bat, and I'm really sad and hoping it's not this person because our main character is going to be absolutely traumatized again. I hope I'm not right because I don't want to keep guessing the plots of these books. I think it's still going to be an interesting story regardless, but because I guessed the last one, I'm like, I hope I don't get this one right because I truly want to be like on my toes, like, wait, what's happening? Like, who's doing these things? So I'm gonna stop talking because I need to take a shower. We'll see what happens. I hope I'm not right. I hope I did not guess this current killer, murderer, psychopath, whatever they are, sociopath. I know that there's a difference between a psychopath and a sociopath, but I just forgot. Like, I think a psychopath doesn't feel emotions, and then a sociopath does feel emotions. There's one of the two. I don't even know. I'm really sorry if you hear music. My neighbors are having a party. But, update on the book. So far, well, good news is the book's great. Bad news is I 100% think I'm right on who the current killer is. I have 150 pages left, so I'm definitely gonna get this done tonight. I just like, it's going by really fast too, so that's amazing. But I'm really sad that I'm pretty sure I'm right. So that's not good. The story is really interesting, like going back and forth from like her memories, or like certain things are being brought up that reminds her of her dad, to like the current case. It's just really scary, so we'll keep reading to see what happens. But that's my only update, is that I'm pretty sure I know who the killer is, which is really unfortunate because I really wish I was like clueless and was like, oh my gosh, what's happening? But like in my brain I'm like, it's this person, I already know it. Danger. So I'll check back in when I finish it. So I just finished this morning. Again, I woke up like at the same time and was like, oh, I have about 100 pages left. Like, let's just finish it. So the person that I guessed was the killer, I was wrong. Which I will say, I rated this book a 5-star because up until the very ending, I did not know what was gonna happen. And I feel really bad for our main character. Like, it truly, like, I would have major trust issues if that was me, because like, you think it's this one person and then her whole life she goes trusting this person, and then it's just horrible, and it's so sad, but it was so interesting. This is probably one of the best thriller books that I've ever read. I haven't read like a ton, but so far it's one of the best. With that being said, I know that was kind of like not a big crazy wrap up. It was super fast, entertaining. Again, like the first one. I think most thrillers are though, but I did not guess what was gonna happen. I was wrong about the person that I suspected was the killer. Everything ties in so well. There's like little moments where like it goes back to her childhood, but then in current conversations it shows how she like zones out and is thrown back into her past, is truly just scared and unsure of like who to trust. And it's so sad because it's like, you know, she should be able to have a support system and she doesn't even have a support system. So that is truly really sad. And also at some points in the book I really thought the detectives were gonna think she was like crazy. 5-star for sure, 100%. But with that being said, a wrap up of this, me and my sister, we're gonna head to Barnes & Noble, and I just want to edit what I have so far of this video while drinking coffee. There's one book that I'm thinking of picking up. If I can't find it, it's totally fine. But then a little bit later in the day, we are going to go with my dad for my cousin's birthday dinner and their family, which is really exciting. I believe it's at Cheesecake Factory, which I love cheesecake. I'm going to try to read a little bit of Such Pretty Flowers. I actually matched the cover, which is kind of funny. But this book is shorter than the other two. It's only like 300 pages, I think, or 320. And that is all. I will check back in once I have a little bit of an update for this book. I have a little bit of an update. It's now Tuesday and I'm a little sad because I wanted to get this book done on Sunday. On Monday, I was just super tired after work. I don't know, like, it was because on the weekend I was like purely just like reading and like editing and stuff. A big reason why I started my channel was to hold myself, well, my eye twitched. That was so weird. It was to hold myself accountable. And so far, it's like the 17th today, and I read 8 books, which I would have not done. I wouldn't have even read 8 books an entire month. So we're doing amazing, but I just needed a little bit of a break yesterday. I did progress just a teensy bit. I'm 106 pages in. So far what I've learned is we got into the part where her sister her brother commits suicide, which they attend his funeral, and like the vibes I'm getting from this book is like pure like Hunger Games. Like, you know when they go when Katniss and Peeta go to like when they go to the party and like they see that everyone's like dressed all crazy and they're eating all kinds of crazy food and there's flowers everywhere, everyone's so colorful, and like they say weird things but then they're like super nice, and then they're like, wait, what'd you say? And then they're like, oh, nothing, and like it was a joke or whatever. This is what this book is. Like, the girlfriend, I think it's Myra or something, and she's the girlfriend to Molly's brother, or sorry, it's Holly. I keep calling her Molly. It's like I'm not even knowing what I'm reading. I'm going to say Myra, it's probably not her name, is, the brother's name is Dane, so they were dating when he died, and she lives in like this really, really nice like townhouse in Savannah is where they're at, and like she's a florist or whatever, but like she also like does like other things, like it's saying like she kind of is like she makes like potions and stuff, I don't know, but she has a lot of money from doing this, and she attended like a kind of like dinner party for her client that she gives flowers to, or not gives, but like does like flower preparations for them, and Holly went with her because they were just like out, they were together for some reason, and then she's like, oh, do you want to come with me to like this dinner party? And this is after her brother had already passed. So they get dressed up and they go, and it's literally like the Hunger Games, and as soon as that happened, the way that this chick acts, it just reminds me from someone from the Hunger Games, like from I forgot what it's called. It's not the districts, like they're like the wealthy people, and it's just really odd. Like, it's not odd in a bad way, but it's like really intriguing because the way that she's acting, it's like there's some parts of her that seem really normal and like she's just like rich and like whimsical, and like, but then there's other parts where it's like, wait, this chick is like super creepy, and why is she saying these certain things? The police said that he cut himself from like his stomach like all the way up to his chest, like gutted himself. That's crazy. And the police or the doctors, they were all saying like they can't believe that he did that because most people would have died already. Like, it was pretty intense and like brutal. Like, it was just super creepy. So obviously if he like gutted himself, like that's a crazy way to commit suicide. So his sister took that evidence to the police, but the police were like, no, it was a suicide. And then she told her parents, and her parents were like, no, like I think he genuinely was sick. So that's where I'm at now. It's like dark and mysterious, but it's just like the way that the people act in like the fancy district of the Hunger Games, it literally reminds me of just that. So I'm gonna finish this today because I want this video to go up tomorrow, which would be Wednesday. It's not like a super scary thing, it's just more like eerie, like this chick's odd, and like what's gonna, like, I'm just more so like what happened to the world, like how did he get to that point, and is the same thing gonna happen to the sister? I don't know. That's my update. I'll check back in when I'm either get to a point in the book that like is super crazy and I want to talk about it, or when I finish. So I have a not so good update. I just haven't been feeling the best, and I don't want to force myself to read if I don't have to. The book isn't bad. I don't think it's the book at all. I just think I'm definitely not doing good. So I'm just gonna stop reading for this video. I only got 206 pages. After I said that update, like as soon as I got into bed, I had my book and I just wanted to sleep. I didn't really care to read. It's not the book's fault. I just am like been tired, and I just think like the dark thriller, like it's also like hinting at dark romance. My brain from the start, I kind of was like, maybe not something I want to get into, and then I just haven't been feeling good mentally, so I'm just like, you know what, I'm not gonna force myself to read it. So yeah, that's it for today's video. 2 books read. One of them, it was a 3-star. Second one was a 5-star, and then this one I'm just softing a thing for now. I truly don't want to say that it's anything bad with the book. I just really like do not want to like, I started filming on Thursday and then I got 2 books done by Sunday, but then now it's Tuesday and I tried reading this. I've only got 100 pages and it's only like 320, so it's not even that big of a book. I just don't want to read it right now. I just want to go to sleep, and I wanted this video to be up by tomorrow, so I'm like, you know what, it's fine. I'm not in the mood to read it. 2 books is a good amount to have finished over the weekend. So I will be returning to Such Pretty Flowers whenever I probably do a video of like rereading my DNFs. We will see one day, but I'm just gonna go and head to bed. I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. And I will see you next time. Have a good night, good morning, wherever you are in the world, and bye-bye. I do have a coffee from Porto's, or like, it was like a blended drink from Porto's. My sister ordered us like sandwiches. It's okay, but like, I'm not really into like frappy stuff anymore. Like when I was a kid, I used to. But now I just want like straight coffee. But I do have energy drinks, so I'm probably just gonna grab one and then sit down and read.